Do you know the number one channel that all businesses should be focusing on and very rarely are they spending enough time on? Can you guess? Let's find out. If you haven't guessed yet, it is email. Email is one of your strongest performing channels. It can be the asset you need to convert cold traffic into very good sales and long-term customers. It can be the item that brings people back to improve your lifetime value, improve the return customer rate. It grows your audience. It builds your reputation. It is one of the most important channels, and I can't tell you how many clients we have brought on board where they either haven't optimized it or haven't even created an email strategy. Let's get into it. Now, when you're looking at your email strategy, it basically breaks out into two components. You've got your campaigns and your flows. Both of these have very similar rules for optimization, but they both have very different purposes. First, I'll touch on campaigns. Campaign seems like the easiest. It's a way for you to give the latest news, timely information to each of your customers on a regular basis. This one's usually the one that most brands have at least started to try with. So they send out an email newsletter every once in a while, letting customers know about their latest product or study or reviews. That's pretty straightforward. There are rules for optimizing your campaign emails, but those also are relevant for optimizing your flows. So we'll go through those together. But first, let me talk about flows. Now, flows are these automated sequences that occur throughout your customer journey, and these are business critical. These are the things that will leverage your existing customers to convert on a regular basis. Some of the basics that you need to have are a welcome flow, which means anyone that's been sweet enough to give you their email address needs to get something in return and wants to learn more about your brand. So your welcome flow should really give them some sort of incentive to give you a try and also really help them to get to know your brand and how they could get value from it. It's like a get to know you. It's like your first few dates. The next one that's very critical is abandoned cart. So if someone has come to your website, they've seen your ad, they've fallen in love with you, they're excited enough to buy, they get all the way to the checkout, and then they leave. Why do they leave? Who knows? Maybe the kids are screaming, maybe the computer died, maybe they don't know where their credit card is. Whatever it is, you want to have an automated abandoned cart to get them back and remind them that they had a purchase that's waiting for them and that they'll be so happy if they just close out that purchase and go ahead and buy. A lot of times people put one little additional discount code in the abandoned cart to really just help incentivize them. The next flow is your post-purchase flow. Now this one is critical in the sense that someone has been kind enough to buy from your site, and now you want them to have the best possible experience with your product or service. So this is a series that just introduces them to anything that could complicate their relationship with your product, any particular ways to use it. It gets them excited so that they're looking forward to when it'll be delivered. It continues that relationship by also letting them know how other customers have experienced the product and what other products you have that could further emphasize their experience with your product to make it an even better experience with your brand as a whole. Other iterations of abandoned cart are browse abandonment or site abandonment. You can add those on later, but at least just get that one up and running. Your post-purchase should also include two key elements. One, it should include an ask for review once they've had a chance to enjoy the product, or if they didn't enjoy the product, an easy way for them to contact customer service and get some help with the product. And two, an ask for a referral. If they love your product so much, they'll tell their friends. Might as well incentivize them to do that. Now that we've gone through the base level most critical flows, let's go through what every good email needs. When evaluating the success of your emails, there are four key analytics that you should pay attention to. One is your open rate, two, your click-through rate, three, your revenue, and four, your unsubscribed spam reporting rate. You will know your email success based on these four metrics. Each of these key components to successful email will influence one of these four metrics and will tell you how well you're doing. So keep optimizing to those four metrics. First, let's look at your subject line. Your subject line will improve your open rate. This is the thing that you see in your inbox that makes you think, that email's interesting. Let me click on it and see if I like what's in there. Make sure you've got really strong subject lines that attract attention, that make some sort of a promise, that ask a question, that somehow engage them to want to open your email. Now that they've opened your email, you want to get them to click. That's your second metric, your click-through rate. So now that you want to get them to click, how do you do that? A couple quick rules. One, you want to have your CTA or your button on your email as high up in the email as possible. That still makes sense, especially in what we call above the fold or in the top quadrant. Basically anything that when somebody opens an email and does not scroll down, they see a place to click, they understand the purpose of this email and why they need to be reading the email and clicking on the email. Then they can scroll down and get some additional information. It also helps to have a compelling reason on why they should click. Give them a strong reason up in that top quadrant in that first email, or tell a strong story as they go down. Now, different audiences with different products will want different type of email experiences. So the same email experience is not going to work for every brand. We have brands that really like to have in-depth information. They want long newsletter type emails where they can read a lot of content. We have other brands that just want flashy images, GIFs, and changing pictures and sexy product shots, and that's all they're looking for, and they just want to buy and they don't want to read. The less content, the better. All of this needs to be tested out. And then to create just a little bit more complication, sometimes you have one brand where this strategy and the strategy works based on the segment of the audience that you're emailing to. You also want to make sure that you're paying attention to what each customer wants, what bucket they fill it in, and what type of content that you should be giving them. As always, mobile optimization is super important. Most people are on their phones when they're looking at websites and checking out emails. So every email you send should be optimized for mobile. Some ESPs or email service providers will let you send very heavy emails. Don't let them do that. Yes, it's great that they'll let you do that, but unless they have a strong enough server and unless somebody's Wi-Fi or home service is strong enough to pull it up, they're going to be looking at an empty email for a pretty significant time if you're using an image-based email. Your other option, which I know is getting very technical right now, is an HTML-based email where it's still having to pull from the site. It does make the email itself a little lighter because essentially it's pulling up like a web page within the email. But overall, just try to slim down your email as much as possible to make it really fast to load, and always check it on mobile. Make sure it's readable on mobile. That's the other mistake a lot of people make, is they'll design their email for desktop and then they'll just squish it down to mobile and now nothing's readable. So make sure that if you're squishing it down, that you make the text large enough that on mobile it's readable. Most sophisticated ESPs will have a way for you to do split A/B testing and also timing testing. Those are both critical tests to let you know when's the optimal time to send an email. Klaviyo in particular has a 24-hour window that you can set up your email in advance. It'll send it every hour and it'll optimize to that. You do that 2 or 3 times, and then you've got a pretty decent sense of what time of day you should send what email on which days to get the optimal open, click-through rate, and revenue. The other type of split A/B testing is testing out subject lines. So you can see if your audience prefers more salesy subject lines or more personalized subject lines. You can also split A/B test different designs, different areas of your click, your CTA or your button, or if you want to test that long email versus that short, which is kind of a longer test to do. But basically, there are lots of ways for you to continually test and optimize your email. And this is a great use of your time because email is how you continue to generate a relationship with your customers. This ongoing customer relationship also improves your LTV or your lifetime value. So as you generate this customer, it costs you a lot of money to get this customer in the door. Email can help make sure that they keep coming back and keep spending, so that your ratio of how much you spent to get them in versus how much they've generated on your store just keeps moving in your favor. So let's say it costs you $100 to get a customer in the door. Your average order value is about $50. That means you paid 2 times the amount of money that you got for that customer. With a really great email campaign and email flows to get them to keep coming back and purchasing, if they end up spending $500 in the next few months, that $100 was totally worth it to get them in the door. I'm just going to add one more quick note about that last data point that I mentioned. So we have click-through, open rates is most important because it lets you know about the subject line. Click-through rates tells you if your button and your email is compelling enough to make me want to click on it. Revenue tells me that your email took me to the right place on the site and gave me a cohesive and clear enough experience that made me want to purchase. But this fourth one, the spam, bounce, unsubscribe rates, those are the ones that you need to pay attention to, mostly because if you get hit with those a few too many times, if you consistently get automatically put into spam or into newsletter, all of that data feeds back and hurts your deliverability. So over time, and we've had to fix this for a few clients, which is very unfortunate, your emails just stop getting delivered. They instantly go to spam and your email list is basically completely burned. It's not a terrible thing because systems like Klaviyo do allow you kind of a get out of jail free card where you can create a subdomain and you can basically reintroduce yourself to your users. And if they treat your email well and don't report you to spam and don't unsubscribe too much, that basically you've got a second chance to prove to Klaviyo and to Gmail and Hotmail and Yahoo and AOL, if anyone's still on those, that you are in fact a trustworthy brand and you are not abusing the privilege of email. Last quick little channel update to include in this that I'm not going to go too much into, but I will definitely be making another video on, is SMS. Now, SMS, I like to include in email as a channel because most of the platforms that do email do SMS, and a lot of ones that do SMS are now launching their own email platforms. But all in all, these are both the same sort of direct to customer in their inbox of one kind or another type of relationship. And so it does have a lot of the same theories and strategies, and SMS converts very well and has the highest open rate out of any platform. So we'll talk about that one next. Thanks again for watching. This is our Marketing Insights series from Dia Creative. We are a digital marketing agency. My name's Andreea Borcea. I'm the founder, and I would love to talk to you about your marketing challenges, quandaries, growing your business, whether it's B2C or B2B. And I love to hear your marketing challenges. So make sure to comment below with any of your marketing questions, and let's get to know your business. Thanks so much. Oh, like, subscribe, and don't forget to visit diacreative.com. Thanks.